parts. So the Minister asked me to follow up to Deputy Neville on that qualifications issue. Yes. There are some other ways. There's a limited number of other ways that people who don't have a level of qualification might work in services. But again, going back to what the Minister said, we believe that it's good for children that they're looked after by a qualified workforce, and I think there's very broad agreement for that. So that has been the regulation development. But there are a couple of other ways. You'll be aware that we allowed a grandfathering clause. So that allows some people who don't have the qualification and intend to retire over the next few years to continue for a limited period of time. Under the new access and inclusion model, under level 7 of the range of supports that are there for access and inclusion, we're providing capitation of about €13 per hour to individuals who can come into the preschool room and support the preschool leader and all the children in the room to provide an inclusive service. Under the regulations, we're not absolutely requiring that in every instance that person have a level 5. That person might have, you mentioned a health qualification, for example, because the child might need particular care needs. So there's some allowance under the access and inclusion model. I think a major part of this is that the Department of Education and Skills has responsibility for reviewing the courses that are out there at the moment. And something that's really important is that courses have recognition of prior learning. So when you apply to do a course and they say, right, there's normally 8 modules in this course, they should be able to say, well, you actually have done something else, etc. So I'll reduce the number of modules that you have to do. So that RPL, as it's called, is very important, and the Department of Education are working with us and with all the education providers on that. So that was just on the qualifications issue.
Just to clarify, so you're looking at ways of, just so I get this right in my head, you're looking at ways of using that experience that somebody may have already to reduce the modules that they would have to do in a qualification in conjunction with the Department of Education. Yeah?
Yes, very much. The Department of Education have responsibility.
Is there a timeline of when that may come on stream, or when that's
there already. Okay. So when anybody applies to do a course, they should be able to say, I've already done this course over here. Can I get some reduction in the number of modules I need to do? So RPL, it should be there as part of most courses. And in some instances, they'll say, yes, that was relevant, and so we will give a reduction. In some instances, the colleges, etc., will say, no, it wasn't relevant, or it's too long ago.
Who makes the decision? Is it the colleges or the department?
The college. The college makes the decision.
College, okay.
Yeah.
And is the criteria uniform across the colleges, or is it different?
I think I would have to ask the Department of Education exactly how that works. Okay. I imagine there's some variation with that. Okay. Just with regard to community services, and again, the Minister answered the majority of the question, but we very much do recognise the dilemma, the challenges faced by community services, and the Minister has already mentioned a number of the interventions that we're making there. Another thing that's important to say is that in Budget 2017, the Minister did, for the first time, it was a small budget, but a budget of €1 million for a sustainability fund, it was called, and to help the Department develop sustainability policy.